it was always a great sadness for me that we never got to perform any of the second album, and that we had only a very small outing on the first album, you know. So this has got nothing to do, for me, about nostalgia. You know, I'd never do one of those kind of 80s tours or anything like that, and everything to do with the fact that it was a really strong body of work that deserves to have a live airing.
It just seemed to be the right thing to do at the right time. I had the space, and Alison
Had the inclination.
Had the inclination.
Yazoo was something that was really tied up with the three elements of the song, of the voice and the electronica. You couldn't ever split those apart. I think the one thing that defined us and the way that we made music at the time was that we never referenced anything else. We never came into the studio playing each other music or records or, you know, the kind of patchwork that music is today of sampling or, you know, lifting from other sounds. You know, this was something that was like kind of a part of the original thought.
It was all done very, very quickly. And it all came. Nothing was really preconceived or thought out. It was all very spontaneous. Even though it's electronic program music, it was spontaneous.
There was no model that we were following. You know, this wasn't about us embarking on a career. It was about the fact that Vince had a song that he wanted to record, and he was looking for a different type of voice than the one he'd been working with in Depeche. You know, he knew of me. He contacted me and asked me to sing on his demo, and that was as far as I was concerned what it was going to be. You know. It's just that there was something that happened within that kind of happy accident that encouraged us to see what else we could come up with.
Myself and Alison haven't spoken for a long time, but at the same time, I knew that everybody wanted to do this, so
yeah.
I knew it would be a positive atmosphere. We found it difficult to relate to each other when we were younger, because we were younger. That was the big reason, and you know, we found it difficult to communicate. But I mean, the thing is, at the end of the day, you know, we both come from Boston, and you can't take that out of us, you know what I mean, mate?
No, but there is a language, do you know what I mean? There's a kind of, even though, that's the kind of funny thing, that even though we didn't talk particularly much then, there's still this kind of cultural, you know, reference points, just loads of reference points that are the same, you know.
I think it's going to be very exciting, you know. It's I feel a lot more relaxed about touring anyway, just because technology has moved on quite a lot since myself and Alison last toured, so I'm not going to spend the whole of the evening worrying like I used to, and I'm going to get the opportunity to actually enjoy the concert. You
know, I think it's going to be quite a powerful show, actually. You know, the thing with Yazoo is that, you know, people might remember us merely for the singles, and will think of either us as, on occasion, pop light or as a dance act, and there was a whole breadth to what we were, you know, to our material. You know, there's a darkness, and there's an avant-gardeness, and there's a poetry to it. There's all kinds of elements, and you know, it's important to pull the show together in such a way that all of those are truthfully presented.
I'd like to have a go at programming some of Alison's songs. But they've got loads of chords in there. Those are difficult.
Vince is still a part of a very current group, you know, and I'm aware that we've got a window of time, and if that turns into something more within that window, then I'll be really excited to see what it's going to be. It all has to be creative led. It all has to be about the song, and absolutely has nothing to do with a kind of just trying to, you know, capitalise on something else. It's not about that at all. As much as the interest is gratifying, that can never be a reason. I don't think you should do anything creatively based on what you think a market force is going to be or what you think the audience is going to be. It has to come from a purer place than that. We've got different agendas. Do you know what I mean? You know, like Vince is obviously an important agenda is his relationship with, you know, Andy. I'm freer than that. Do you know what I mean? In that sense. So Vince's starting point has always got to be from the perspective of Erasure. My starting point is always going to be from the perspective of me. You know. I
didn't tell him. I said that the idea's come up, and what do you feel? How do you feel about that? You know, because you know, we have a very close relationship, and I didn't want to do anything to upset that relationship. And he just emailed me back and said, I'd like some tickets. Free. Which obviously you won't get.
I'll put them on my guest list, you mean bastard.
Okay.